Hi! So today I'm going to be talking to you about the rescue of Cece, and here's Cece. Now you've seen her, our little girl there, in a lot of the backgrounds of the videos, but you'll notice she doesn't come up there as close as the others. There she is, isn't she beautiful? Oh, what a good girl! So you'll probably see her in the background. As usual, I'm surrounded by the beautiful hens in our little rescue family. Jen, of course, is up front and centre. And we've got Kim. I think you're getting used to who heads over to preen me straight away. And then we've got Cece in the background, who we're talking about. Look, she's doing it again. Is this going to be every day now you're going to scratch on me? Hey? Yeah. So sweet. But we're going to be talking about this beautiful Cece there. The reason I wanted to talk about Cece is because we recently shared the video about Charlene's rescue, and it was pretty much the easiest rescue ever. It was just a matter of going there in the dark and, just gonna move into the shade a bit, going there in the dark and creeping up on her, poor thing, when she was sitting on the side of a flower pot and grabbing her. But for Cece, she's an example of how our rescues usually go when it comes to stray hens, so I thought she'd be a really good story to tell. Ow, Jen, that one actually hurt. So we're going to tell you a bit about this beautiful little girl behind me. So, back in May, we got a message from a lady, an old lady, who had a hen who turned up in her garden some time before. Now this lady, she was very lovely, but she had a lot of health issues. And she had a walker to assist her, and she really loved getting in the garden. But the trouble was, Cece, this was by the way up the Central Coast area, Cece was digging lots of holes in the garden, which made it hard for the lady to get around because she had some mobility issues. So she really wanted some help catching her. And so I thought, this is another situation where there's no way the lady's going to be able to catch her on her own. So I headed up to the Central Coast and set myself up. And since she said she was quite flighty, I took all of my equipment. So I took my puppy playpen to set up, lots of treats to lure her with, a net to kind of try and get her in one area, and a step ladder and everything. Now the plan is for the hen haven that we'll have a vehicle set up with all of this ready to go, so I can get on the road when these things happen and get going and rescue whoever it is. At the moment there is still, here she is, Cece, we're talking about you today. So rather than just harp on about it, I'm going to share my stories with you from that day of how Cece's rescue went, and you'll see from the timer that it took me quite a few hours to capture this cheeky little hen. I'm here to try and catch this girl. She's very scared though, and she's in this tree. And even when she looked at me, she went running off and flew up there. I've set up an area for her here, which I'm putting some food in, but it's just whether she actually comes by. You alright, sweet? You can have some food? Come on! Good girl! Magpies are literally easier to catch than this hen. I could just catch you, you know. Meanwhile, at the hen I can't get anywhere near. Caught myself a ton of magpies. But the chicken is still down there and not coming within 5 meters of me, or even 10 or 15 meters. Now I'm going to have to wait till after dark, try and find where she sleeps and try and get her then. Oh great, another magpie. So I'm now waiting for it to get dark. It's almost dark. Somewhere in this tree is our little friend. I've got a step ladder set up that you can't exactly see, but she's got her eye on me. I don't want her to fly higher up in the trees, so I have to wait till it's pitch black. You hardly see because it's dark, but I've got this little one in my arms. I just followed her into a bush. Finally managed to get her out. 2 of my tree climbs were unsuccessful. Let's go to the front of the house so you can see. Here she is. I'm so relieved. So, as you could see from the end of those clips, we did get the beautiful Cece in the end. And she came home and she was very terrified for some time. And she still is one of our most flighty girls. Probably the most, actually. So at first, because we didn't have cockatoo just landed above me. At first, because we don't have enough enclosures, and we, I had to put her in the coop run area. So it's kind of like a bigger coop that has its own run. It's way too small really for chickens. I only use it as a temporary when there's nowhere else. And so for a couple of weeks she was in there. I also had Kaiho at the same time, who you've met a lot of times in these videos. She's the girl who was rescued from a battery cage, who had really severe breathing issues when she was rescued. And she was also having a really careful introduction to the other girls, because it wasn't like Cece, where I was just terrified that Cece would escape again and I wanted her to feel really comfortable. It was with Kaiho because I didn't want her to get in the usual bickering that hens do when they meet each other, because her breathing was so bad. I was worried that she'd have like the equivalent of an asthma attack. So I wanted to wait until she'd finished her treatments. Who am I getting? Of course it's Jen. I'm getting a really big... She does her preening so hard. Hey, I'm talking about you, miss. And then Kim's still doing her job. This is what I think they consider their job, that I need a bit of a tidy up. They're quite right, of course. The others are just up here. And you can see Kaiho. She's walking along there. She's the brown hen walking. So for some time, Cece and Kaiho were in the same area. And it was I was really careful that they wouldn't fight. And they loved each other. Oh no! I've just been pooped on by the cockatoo. Look, this is terrible. Imagine that, choosing to sit right above me, a bird lover, and poop on me. Oh. Well, aren't I lucky? Yes, I'm looking at you, Mr. Cockatoo. Thanks for that. As if I don't have enough poo to deal with in everyday life with chickens. Let me just shake the poo off and I'll deal with that later. I'm pretty tough when it comes to poo. That means I'm lucky. That means we're going to raise the full amount for the hen haven. Just that poop. Oh, that's the case with seagulls at least, isn't it? And the cockatoos moved on now that they've done their job. Anyway, back to the thing. So Kaiho and Cece had this beautiful friendship, and the reason why that was a bit strange is because Cece wanted to fight with everyone. Now she's from a breed which is, I don't really know loads about chicken breeds, because I mainly rescue hens from the same breeds, the ones that are in the industry. So egg industry are Isa Browns, hello, and sometimes white leghorn hybrids, and the meat industry are the Cornish crosses. So it's really like the same breeds that I'm dealing with. It's only when we get the strays that I'm sometimes like Googling, what is this little chicken here? And she turns out to be a game hen. There's all different kinds. I didn't go that far into it, but that's kind of her breeding. She's a lot faster. She's got ability to fly a lot higher than the others. She's lighter, and she's much closer to the wild game fowl, jungle fowl that they are bred from. But the sad thing about this breed is that the roosters are often used for fighting. So you'll see these kind of roosters. They may be different kinds of game roosters, but who are a similar build. And so I found that even the hens, as a general rule, can be quite feisty when it comes to making a pecking order, and Cece definitely was. So she pretty much fought with everyone. She's not with, of course, special needs hens she didn't meet. That's why she's not, because being flighty, like I would have put her in the enclosure with Ariel, that one up there, with Ariel, Matilda, and now Charlene, but I couldn't risk her pecking on them. And she was pretty tough. Like, she had a nasty fight with Queen Lara, who's also quite feisty, and I had to separate them. It was really upsetting. I felt terrible. Again, hen haven, more areas, it's going to be so much easier. But she loved Kaiho, and even now, so now after a long time, she's got much more confidence. She pretty much, I have to keep her away from Lentil, our one-legged hen, who's in this enclosure. Is that her? No, that's Astrid. She is there, but you probably can't see through the net because Cece's not very nice to her, and we have to make sure Lentil doesn't stress out. But she's getting on really well with everyone now. It's funny, it just took her a lot of time, and we needed to be really patient with her. I'll move across again. Still, there is a cockatoo above me, but not lined up in the poo zone. There's also, hang on, I'll show you the washing line. We've got cockatoo on the washing line and a cockatoo sitting on the carrier that I've hosed out. You know what they do? They rip off the pegs and they throw the washing on the ground. They haven't done it today, but this is what they do. They are so cheeky. Oh my goodness. Beautiful though, and very clever. So now Cece's getting on really well with nearly everyone, but it was that big process of getting her used to everyone. But look at this gorgeous moment that I captured the other day with Kaiho preening Cece's face. I thought it was so sweet because again, it's just like, it was such a slow time for Cece to settle in and to feel like she was comfortable. And this is the same when Queen Lara arrived. She was so skittish, like I had to keep her in a more confined area for a while just so that she wouldn't escape. I want them to be comfortable. Hello, Lucy, and Dorothy behind her. Now, do you know, this is a little tangent, but so Dorothy, oh, here's Cece as well. Yes, we're talking about you. So Lucy's pecking at my back. So Cece and Lucy and Dorothy were best friends. They arrived from being stray at different places. Two lovely different ladies brought them to me, and they both had their wings cut right down, like really as far down as you can. And they just bonded straight away. They loved each other. And then Lucy went broody, her broodiness kicked in and she just wanted to sit on eggs. And Dorothy wanted to hang out and do the usual stuff they've been doing, you know, digging and playing and dust bathing and sunbathing. And Lucy didn't want any of it, so they fell out basically, and Lucy made different friends. She made friends with Lentil and that. And when Lucy came out of her broodiness, they took ages to be friends again, and then finally, just this week, they started hanging out. So it's quite nice to see. Very similar to primary school kind of relationships. Hey Dorothy, she's so beautiful. Her wings have grown back, and so have Lucy's. But they kind of do this, they go everywhere together in their little, and Gretel joins in sometimes as well. But they're so beautiful friends. The other thing about Cece, she may be one of the smallest in the Hen Rescue family, but she's one of the loudest, if not the loudest. She may even rival Cody the rooster because Cece goes for longer. So this is the sound that she was making the other day just wandering around the garden. Now we've got neighbours here and here, and I'm just really aware that I don't want them to be annoyed, but I also don't want them, sorry I'm just looking because I can see Levi and Patsy waddling up the garden pretty fast, make sure they're okay. I think Levi's annoying her. I'm just going to go and stop that and then I'll be back with you. I had to run down because this naughty boy, where is he? This naughty boy, yeah, but handsome too, very handsome. He was being a bit rude to Patsy, who I've just put in the enclosure. She's having a bath there. Excuse me, but there is such a thing as consent, and if she doesn't want to at that time, you don't make her, okay? So she's having some time out. And this naughty boy, he's having some time out. And another note, at the Hen Haven, we're going to have an area for ducks. You can even donate for the duck pond. And we're going to have many more girls for you to hang out with. So poor Patsy won't have to deal with all of your affections. Okay? I know you love to hang out together, but sometimes it's a bit much. Yes, you just talk through. You see his wings? That's called angel wings. And it's because whoever had him as a duckling has fed him a diet that's not good, like a diet of bread. So when they have a nutritional deficiency, they grow up like this. And those wings stick out. So he can't fly or anything, but it doesn't hurt him. He'll always be like that. Whereas Patsy, she has her full wings and she can fly really well. That was a little distraction, but always nice to have a chat. Now there's still no cockatoos above me to poop. Just they're all spread around the trees above me. Beautiful, beautiful sky, beautiful cockatoos. So Cece, yeah, she makes a real racket. And remember in the other video I told you Charlene, when she turned up, like everyone started going off? Well, you should hear when Charlene and Cece in the mornings. Oh my goodness, I haven't got that on video yet, but here's the other day when just in the garden they were all going off, and the deep voice you can hear is Cody the rooster. He's not crowing, but and like, it just shows when one new hen comes, they all get set off. So again, like every time these things happen, it just reminds me why we need to keep going for the hen haven. But Cece is an example of a successful rescue, but that it wasn't easy. I've had some times where I haven't even succeeded on the first try, and I've had to go back multiple nights. Anna, our micro sanctuary director in Port Macquarie area, she's also done the same. Like, she's had to go back multiple days, traveling like an hour and a half to get somewhere each time. And then eventually the rescue's been successful. Obviously having the place to bring them back to with proper enclosures will make things better as far as bringing them back, but also setting up the equipment that we need for the rescues. I mean, I was lucky with Cece that I borrowed their ladder at the house, so I only have a step ladder, but I think on my wish list I definitely need a full ladder to invest in one. Even if we don't get the hen haven, I need that, so to make our rescues easier. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit more about Cece, who's so often in the back of our videos. I don't think she's there right now. Everyone's... Oh, who's this? Hang on. Oh, look, hello. It's our beautiful Kaiho, who we were talking about being friends with Cece. You know what? Bantams usually love hanging out with other bantams, but in this case, they just loved each other. And I'll just show you the other girls before we go. Here's Kim. Hi, Kimmy. Hello, our little survivor. She's been through so much. Look at her beak. And then we've got the girls hanging out by the bushes. They're actually in the bushes as well. I love that because it kind of harkens back to their red jungle fowl roots. And then we've got Lucy and Cece down there. Yes, very gorgeous, aren't you? This video is all about you, my love. Hey, she is getting more confident. Yeah. And, of course, he's Mr. Handsome. I have to say it like that to him because he likes it. It's probably annoying for you to listen to, but he loves it. Wags his little tail. Yes. Now, with Cece, as far as catching her for night, I actually have to... See the back door there? I have to stand and open it for her, and she just walks in. I can't catch her. It's very, very hard to catch her. But now she knows where to go. I just open that back door and in she walks. So I'm very lucky to know these beautiful girls. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. And me and Kim and Cece. Oh, it's all about you, Kim, is it? It's all about you. We say goodbye and we'll see you tomorrow. There she is. Yeah.